Yo, what up YouTube? Welcome back to a new video. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make these guitar hits in FL Studio. And if you're someone like me and you can't play the guitar, you're in luck, because today I'm going to show you how to make the melody completely with VSTs. So go get a little snack and get ready to learn how to make these placement ready guitar melodies on FL Studio with just VSTs. Alright, so we're in FL Studio, and first off I'm just going to play you the melody so you can get an idea of what we are working with. Yeah, crazy melody, bro, and it's crazy how realistic it sounds considering I only used VST guitars. And yeah, I think this melody sounds like something off of a hit record, so I won't be too surprised if this gets placed, but yeah, y'all never know what happens. But yeah, let's get into the breakdown. So I started off the melody with this guitar. This is from Contact. It's the Evolution Jazz Archetype. This is my go-to guitar for these kinds of melodies. And yeah, this is what the MIDI sounds like. Yeah, crazy melody, bro. And as you can see, these are pretty basic guitar chords. So first off, we have a C sharp minor that just plays like first note, then I skip this middle note, move up over here, and I play like a strummed C sharp minor, so it sounds like this. Excuse me, this was a F sharp minor chord, but I have a C sharp minor shape over here. Then I go down to a D major and I skip the second note again, and I made this kind of like A minor shape over here. And as you can see, I'm strumming these chords just to make the guitar sound a bit more realistic. And when you're making these melodies, especially with a VST guitar, you want to like think like a guitarist, or think like how the guitar works in real life. So you can play the guitar notes at the same time if you're strumming them. You have to make these little adjustments on your own melody when you are using a VST guitar to make it sound as realistic and as good as possible. And yeah, then after the D major, I made a E major over here, and I just strummed these, arpeggiated the notes. This one is the middle note from over here, and I added this little extra note over here just to make it sound a bit more cooler. What makes this sound extremely realistic is the slide on top of here. And how I made this slide is I placed the notes close together like this, and I made the velocity of this second note higher than the first note over here, and that creates this slide effect within this plugin. And yeah, then I just copied everything over like this, but I switched it up over here on the last chord. I added these two notes that sound like this. And yeah, having a good VST guitar is important, but what's more important are the effects. So let's listen to the guitar without effects. Yeah, sounds good, but when I turn the effects back on, the sound completely transforms into like so much better sounding guitar. Just listen to it. So the processing of the guitar is extremely important, and what I did is first off I started off with a reverb. This is the Valhalla Vintage Verb. This is my go-to reverb for all kinds of pain melodies, piano melodies, guitar melodies, all kinds of stuff. And I turned the mix to around 18, and I turned the low cut almost all the way up because I didn't want the reverb on the lower frequencies of the guitar, because that would have made the guitar sound muddy. And yeah, next off I added a basic delay. I turned the input and output wet knobs way down so that the delay effect isn't as powerful. Then I turned the delay model to ping pong, and I turned the panning to like 25% so that the ping pong delay kind of sounds like on both ears. Then I added a effect track. I used the CE1 chorus preset. I use this in almost all of my guitar melodies, but you can use a different chorus. You don't have to have this exact preset. You could probably work with the very basic stock chorus plugin that is available within FL Studio. And yeah, nothing much to break down about this. I turned the mix level way down because I didn't want too much chorus on the final sample. This next effect is the most important effect out of all of these. So I used a Bias FX2 guitar amp, and I used the Acoustic preset, and this completely transforms the guitar. So listen to the guitar without the guitar amp and listen to it after. So as you can hear, the guitar amp makes it sound way more realistic, way more powerful, present, just makes it sound a whole lot better. So I love the YSFX2 guitar amp, but you can definitely work with other guitar amps as well. This one is a bit expensive. I don't remember if it was like 200 or 300 euros, but you can definitely get cheaper options as well. Just try to work with a guitar amp because it really transforms your melody. And if you think about it, when guitarists are playing the guitar, they are also using a guitar amp. So this one is a must if you want to make good guitar melodies. Alright, next off I added a mid-side matrix, and I added this just to make the sound a bit more narrow. So first off, the sound was too wide for me, and I added this effect just to bring a bit more to the center. Then I finished off the effects with a basic EQ. I boosted some of the high end and I took out the low end because I didn't want any muddiness on the loop. Alright, so once I had the first guitar pattern down, I wanted to add another guitar pattern. So I used the same guitar with the same effects and I made this pattern. And yeah, I just broke down the effects on the last guitar so I don't have to do it on this one. But a little bit about the MIDI. So I'm using the same trick that I'm using in every single video about pain beats. So try to find a space where there are two notes together like this. Then go to this note right here, go 4 down, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you get this beautiful melody which I love to use in all of my pain beats. I used it again on this one, works on almost every melody by the way. And yeah, that's how I made that guitar. This is what the two guitars sound like together. Alright, so once I had the guitars down, I added a bass. This is the Scorey Rickenbacker bass, night session preset as always. Didn't have to add any effects because it sounds so good on its own. This is the pattern that I made. And yeah, I just followed the root notes of the guitar chords that I made. Nothing much to break down over here. Let's move on with the video. Alright, so once I had all of those elements down, I felt like there was a bit too much space within the sample. So I added this pad. This is from Analog Lab. It's called the wah pad. It's my go-to pad for these kinds of melodies. These are just the chords from the guitar, and this is what they sound like. This was just added to fill out some of the empty space within the melody, so here is everything together so far. And yeah, this pad isn't even too audible. If you're watching this video on a phone with no headphones, you won't probably even hear it, but it creates a big difference, at least for me. I'm somewhat of a perfectionist when I'm making these melodies, so I want it to sound perfect. But yeah, even if it isn't too audible, definitely try to add a pad behind everything. It fills out some of the empty spaces and just overall makes the sample sound a bit more smooth. And yeah, for effects on the pad, I added a reverb, Valhalla vintage verb, turned the mix like halfway up, then I turned the low cut like 500 Hz. Then again, I used some mid-side matrix, but for this time I actually wanted to make the sound a bit more wider, so I just boosted some of the sides. Then I finished off the effects with a EQ. I like to do a shape like this when I'm using this pad because otherwise the frequencies of the sounds are too loud, and I like to focus on these middle frequencies over here when I'm using the wah pad. But yeah, let's move on with the video. Alright, so next off I figured that I wanted a vocal on top of the loop, so I went into Splice and I found this beautiful vocal that I thought fit perfectly on top of the melody. This is what everything sounds like together. Perfect vocal, man. And if you want to get vocals like this, I use the Splice or FL Cloud or something like that. But yeah, that's perfect. And by the way, if you want to make melodies exactly like this one, but you want to use real guitars, the Ultimate Pain Multi-Kit bundle is available right now at nitroartist.com. It has over 180 guitar phrases played by professional guitarists ready to use for you right now. And I just found out that we actually landed one of the guitar phrases on J.Breeze's new album. You can hear it on track 2. But yeah, these are high quality guitar phrases that industry producers use. So yeah, definitely tap in on that if you want to make these crazy melodies on the guitar. Alright, so the melody is basically ready, but I still wanted to add a little texture, so I added these bird sounds behind everything. Lastly, just to enhance the melody and take it to another level, I added this transition. Alright, right, and last thing I did on the loop is I bounced it out like this and I pitched it up by 200 semitones, and yeah, the melody was ready. And yeah, that's about it for the video. If you liked it, like and subscribe, and let me know down in the comments what you want to see next on the channel. And yeah, the Ultimate Pain Multi-Kit bundle is available right now if you want to make these industry quality pain beats. It's the perfect kit out for you, I promise you. I don't think there is nothing that even compares to this kit, and honestly it's the best kit available for pain loops right now. It's available at nitroaudios.com. And yeah, thank you for watching this video. Here's the final loop. See you in the next video. Peace.